Hi, I'm Girli, a singer-songwriter from London, England, and I'm really excited to be here with New Music Buzz.
Things are getting too comfortable, and I don't like a love that's easy. I'm always running when the shit gets real.
Yeah, so Girli came from, I was a big fan of Blondie growing up. They were like one of the bands that my parents loved, and we had like a wall of CDs in the house, and Blondie was one band that just kept coming up. They had so many of their CDs, and I loved the name so much. And I remember looking it up one day and discovering that Debbie Harry had decided to name the band Blondie because that was something that she used to get kind of heckled at in the street. People used to shout Blondie at her. And I loved that she had taken this word that was used to, I guess, objectify her and belittle her. And she was like, I'm going to repurpose this and take that power back and name my band that. So I was thinking about, okay, what are some words that I used to, I suppose, kind of belittle femininity and also to kind of like, I don't know, call at girls in the street and stuff. I don't know. I was thinking of a bunch of different words and catchphrases, and the word girly came up and I really liked it. But I thought, okay, well, if someone types in girly, if they're trying to find my music, the normal spelling, they're never going to find me. So I thought I would change the Y to an I. So that was a pretty practical decision, the spelling. But then I also realized later down the line, some people would pronounce it girl eye. And I thought, oh, it's like girl eye or something. So I was like, kind of works both ways.
I crave a fresher face, different name, newer places, how you playing the feeling of a stranger about to kiss you that you can't sustain.
Yeah, I think the pink was a similar decision to the name. I wanted a color, I wanted a statement, I wanted, my look to be a commentary on feminine power and energy as well. And I knew about, well, now they call it hair theory, which at the time I didn't really know there was a term for it, but it's the idea that, if someone can dress up as you because of your hair, so if someone puts on a pink wig and they're like, you're dressing up as girly, like that's hair theory. So I wanted, a statement. I wanted something that people could attach to me and be like, that's so, that's very girly. But I love the color pink, and I also love how playful it is and how it does play with gender expectations and all of the ways we load gender norms onto things like inanimate objects and colors and things that have nothing to do with gender ultimately. So I was really interested in that. And also, I wanted to take femininity and give it a lot more power, same as the name Girly. So.
You don't have to be sorry for the way I love the woman and her body. Even when the girl patriarchy, when it comes we fuck the patriarchy.
I'm a very conceptual person, so I'll definitely go into the studio with a title or an idea. And I'm not one of those artists who can sort of go into the studio and think, I have no idea what I'm going to do today. It's just going to flow out of me. I respect those artists so much, but I feel like neurotic is a very strong word, but like I'm neurotic in the sense that I need to have a plan. I need to kind of know where the creativity is going to go from. And then, so I'll go into the studio, I'll say, okay, I have this concept, I have this title, or I have a few lyrics and an idea of what I want it to sound like. And the finished song might end up being so far away from that initial thing, but just having that initial idea is really important to me. And titles, I don't know, I just think I've always wanted to have bold titles, and I'll always choose, usually the title just sort of ends up being what the chorus, the hook, the main idea is from the song, but sometimes I'll choose something else from within the lyrics that will stand out more, because I feel like we are just inundated with music all the time, which is amazing. But I think it's important to have eye-catching titles, so people like yourself will be like, I need to listen to that.
I think I just met my future wife. Super cute, I swear she's just my type. So I'm gonna take her out somewhere nice, wear the shirt that she likes, get some wine overpriced, just me and
I really don't like working on a song for a long time, because I feel like once that initial rush of creative energy and excitement and flow has gone on for a day or a few hours, by that point I'm like, that energy, that's been captured in whatever we've recorded. And if I keep going back and changing it and I feel like each time it sort of loses something. And for me, I feel like I found it quite hard to make a song better if it's in a state where you're like, I don't know, this could be good. I tend to be like, let's leave it and start something fresh. Because I think for me, most of the songs that I have ended up absolutely loving, like being my favorite songs I've ever written, are because in that first couple hours of getting into the studio and having the idea and writing it, it just happened, just came to fruition. So yeah, I think there are a few songs where it went through, there were so many different versions and so many rewrites, and by the time you think it's finished, you're like, I don't even understand, I can't feel the spark of when that first idea even began. I follow a couple different accounts online about like creativity and the process of creativity, and I did see a post, I can't remember exactly what it said, but this post about art and how you have to make so much of it, and maybe only 5-10% of it will be something that you're really proud of and that you feel is presentable, and the rest, it's like a muscle. You're just constantly exercising it and building it up and working on it. And I think for me, I'd say probably like for the last album, Matriarchy, that was 14 songs. And I think the pool of songs that I was writing around that time that all went into the sort of long list for the album was about 45 songs. So it's about 10%. No, not 10%. 5%? Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that right? More? Yeah. Maths clearly was not my strong point. And, that's kind of, it begins like this, and then you hone in. But I think, I'm not sure, like for me, I don't think it goes from writing, and then you keep writing, and then there's the amazing one at the end. It's more random. It's like, I'll do a week of writing songs, and maybe the song from day 2 and the song from day 6 are the ones that stood out, and you just never know why. I feel like creativity is such a wild and unpredictable thing, which is the beauty of it, but also can be so frustrating as an artist, because consistency is kind of, I don't know, but by chance. And I know there are lots of people who, believe that you can work and hone in on that consistency being constant. But for me, I do think it's kind of just like magic, really, in the air. Like, you never know if maybe what you ate for breakfast that day meant that you were in the perfect mindset to write that amazing song, or maybe you could roll out of bed and not eat anything and feel like trash and have the most incredible idea. So it's random, which is pretty magic.
Sparkles lose their shine in no time. Take this pumpkin right back to my park. Fresher face, different name, newer places. I explain the feeling of a stranger about to kiss you that you can't stand. Second days, wicked games, spin the bottle, walk of shame, right towards the danger like I'm not.
I hate the idea of songs going to waste, and so for me, I have a Patreon, which is a space for super fans, really, and I share a lot of demos that never made the final cut on there, which is really rewarding because it's quite nice to have a space where I can share the incomplete projects and the things that I don't feel are perfect enough for the general public, but I know that this group of fans will be really appreciative of anything, that I've made, even if it's something that I didn't feel was right or worthy to be released in general. It's really amazing to have that space, and it's pretty rewarding because it means that whatever I write, I'm like, this will be appreciated by some people, and it'll be appreciated by a group of people who have made my career the most possible, which is the super fans. So yeah, that's really fun. And a lot of the time I'll listen to older songs, and that's why it's such a great process actually having the Patreon, because once a month I will share some kind of demo that's not been released or something I've worked on just myself at home, and it makes me go back and clock my progress and hear songs that maybe I've just completely forgotten about or have been collecting dust on a shelf. And it sort of, it makes me re-look at some things. And sometimes there'll be an idea where I'm like, that was a great idea. It was just something on that day. The recipe didn't come together, but maybe I can take that idea and write it down and bring it into the studio on another day.
Give us the dates. What can we expect? What's going on with this? The tours, the areas that you're hitting this round.
Yeah, so it's a pretty short run. It's 11 shows, which I suppose for the US is quite small because there are so many cities. But yeah, we're doing some. So it kicks off on the 3rd of December in Boston, Massachusetts, and we're doing a bunch of shows on the East Coast. We're doing New York. We're doing some Midwest shows. We're doing Chicago, and then we're coming over to the West. We're doing San Francisco, LA, Santa Ana, which I've never played in Santa Ana. I'm excited about that. We're doing Seattle, Portland, and Minneapolis. That was the other Midwest one that I forgot about. Yeah, I'm excited. A lot of these cities I played in February, and that was pre-album coming out. So to be able to go back and play bigger venues and hopefully, have new fans there will be really, really fun. And yeah, it will be a nice kind of way to finish out the year. And I think it's really interesting because I almost feel like the vibe of the tour has even shifted since I arrived in the US a few weeks ago, because the election happened, and now everyone's even more depressed and in despair than we were before I arrived. So I feel like this tour feels kind of even more special, because for me, I really want it to be, like all my shows, I always want them to be a safe space and to feel like community in a sense. But I think now more than ever, especially, in the US, community is so important, because so many people have been forgotten about and dismissed and violated by this election result. And I think, now more than ever, it's important for basically people for the people. We have to help each other out and provide spaces where people can feel safe and held and can scream. I think this tour I think there's going to be a lot of people coming for catharsis. I think there's going to be a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting, a lot of, feeling like, okay, we got to be here for each other. So I'm obviously devastated that we're in the situation where it has to be something like that, but I'm glad that that space will be there for my fans and for me. And I think it's going to be a really good tour. And I love playing shows. Touring is my favorite part of being an artist, and it feels, with Matriarchy as well, the shows are very conceptual and very much about sort of transforming the venue into this community space, this experience.
Either way, my heart's made to break if you stay. I'd still be in pain, 'cause this is what I do. I can hurt myself just fine. I don't need you to.
tour that we did in Europe earlier this year, for the first time, I played one of the album's tracks acoustically, just me and a guitar, and I really enjoyed that. I think the vibe of the shows for me is because I talk a lot in between songs and I involve the audience quite a lot, that brings a sort of intimate energy to it. And then the songs themselves, I feel like I perform them as if I was playing in a much bigger venue. Like I sort of try and play them like I would in an arena, but then have that intimate vibe of, but we're all here and I'm talking to you sort of thing. So, you know, I have my band, which is me, my drummer Chloe, my backing vocalist Hannah, and we're such a tight unit and have so much fun on stage. There's so much dancing and like singing with the crowd, and you know, it is such a fun vibe. And we dress up the stage, and you know, it's still a small, you know, my tours are independent, so it's a small crew. It's an all-women crew, which is really cute and, you know, important for me, I think, because touring, I remember when I started out touring, I felt so kind of alone being a woman in touring, because it was just sort of, it's very male dominated. And so I was like, when I have my own tours and I get to hire people, I want to really spotlight some amazing women in the industry. And yeah, it's fun, and I feel like fans can really feel part of it. And right now the shows are still at the size and the level, like the around 400, 500 cap, where I go out and I meet fans afterwards at the merch table and I sign stuff, and we, you know, give me gifts, and it's very cute and it's very wholesome, and it is still very intimate. So yeah, I think when the shows start getting bigger, I'll want to incorporate some more things to still have that intimate vibe. But right now it's like, it's perfect timing. So. You should buy the Matriarchy album, specifically the deluxe vinyl, which is a gorgeous experience, cover, pink vinyl, etc. Because it is, well, you should buy it if you enjoy fun commentary. Well, what am I saying? If you enjoy vulnerable, emotional, fun, queer, feminist music, and also as someone who loves to scream to music in their car, or you're a shower singer and you want to listen to music that makes you feel part of something, makes you feel held, makes you feel like you're in a community. Hi, my name is Girli, and you've just been buzzed.
Sorry.